The relationship between the teacher and the student is a bit different as well. I think in Japan it's more.
This is not what I've learned. It's totally different. Like, oh no, what do I say now?
Is it hard to study in Japan without knowing much Japanese? Thank you for your time today. Firstly, where are you from?
I'm from the Philippines.
The Philippines. And how long have you been in Japan?
I've been here since September, so 3 months.
3 months now. What brought you to Japan?
I'm studying Masters of International Relations, Japan Global Development Program. Yeah, so that's it. It's IR, but majoring in Japan development.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So the topic of today is about what's it like studying in Japan. So my first question is, what is the nationality rate in your school?
I am studying in an international master's university, so only 5% are Japanese, but our staff and faculty members, some are Japanese. So it is really where the world gathers. So there are a lot of different nationalities there. Filipinos, Americans, from Europe, from Africa. There really are a lot of nationalities there.
Are your teachers Japanese and do they speak English?
I think 2 Japanese professors and others came from Bhutan or Myanmar. Since it's an international university, they speak English, but we have like Japanese language courses that we can take, so it's taught in Japanese.
Okay. Is it hard to study in Japan without knowing much Japanese?
We're in the countryside. We really have to have at least a little Japanese because majority of the people in Minami Onuma, they don't really speak English. Only in our university that they speak English. So you really have to at least have the basic Japanese.
And next question is, what's it like studying in Japan compared with your country? Is there any differences, like the style of the class?
I think the common differences I can share is that here we only have 8-week classes. So like it's only for 8 week for per term, 8-week classes per term and once a week. But in my university,
Once a week?
Yeah, once
That's
a week.
Once a week?
Once a week per course. So for instance, I have 4 courses. I only meet the professor for 8 times. And here,
That's sad.
but here, if they miss class, they usually do makeup class. But in my university, even if they miss class, it's okay. They just give readings and all. And here also, they are very intensive when it comes to the courses that they are teaching. So they have, maybe because our university is somewhat aligned to international or America system, that's why it's a little bit different. But back in my country, it's more on not really self-taught, but some professors do spoon-feed for the teaching. Some don't really teach that much, but here they do. They're very strict with it, and they're strict with deadlines because Japanese people are disciplined, so they're really strict with that one.
Yeah, we are very strict about rules. Rules are rules.
True.
Is it easy to make Japanese friends?
Actually, it's kind of hard to approach them at first, but once they get to know you, it's easy to talk to them. So it's not that hard, but you just have to approach them because sometimes they're too quiet or you don't
Too
know.
shy.
Yeah, too shy. You don't know how to talk to them because sometimes they look so serious. But when you get to know them, that it's easy to talk to them. It's easy to approach them.
So how do you communicate with your Japanese friend, in Japanese or in English?
Sometimes I mix it because
Wow.
but I really don't speak Japanese that
Okay.
much. I only know some phrases. Most of the time it's English.
Okay, so they do understand English
They do.
and they do speak
They
English.
speak fluently English.
Fluently.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Last question. Are you enjoying your school life in Japan?
I am definitely enjoying it because I get to do a lot of things that I don't usually do in the school life in the Philippines. For instance, here, I know that everyone loves sports and like we have all the facilities for sports. So I get to try new sports for the first time in my university here.
Oh, what did you try?
I tried lawn tennis. Yeah. And that's the first time I did lawn tennis.
Did
And
you like it?
Yeah, I even joined the competition for it in
Oh,
our
wow.
house. So it's really amazing that we get to do work-life balance here and academic balance in Japan. And that's not really the same in the Philippines. In the Philippines, when it comes to academic, you really have to focus on academics. So
Focus on study.
yeah.
There's
But
no
here,
sport anymore.
no, we get to watch the World Cup together, and so yeah, it's fun. I really enjoy like studying here.
Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing today. Thank you for your
Arigatou
time.
gozaimasu.
Thank you. Firstly, where are you from?
I'm from Denmark.
From Denmark. And how long have you been in Japan?
I've been here since like the start of September, so a little bit less than 3 months.
What brought you to Japan?
I've been here as a tourist a long time ago, and
okay.
I wanted to, have more time to explore and really like get to know.
So
Japan.
this is your second time?
Yeah, but first time was just a tourist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this time is study.
Now I'm
Japan,
studying here.
right? Okay, cool. And how long are you gonna study in Japan?
I'm gonna be here until the end of February.
End of
So
February.
in total, it's a bit less than half a year. So like 1 semester.
You're gonna spend your new year in Japan, right?
Yes. Well,
Are you excited for that?
yeah, I hope it's gonna be fun. I don't know what to expect, but
Okay.
it will probably be different than at home.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for sharing. The topic of today is about what's it like studying in Japan. So I prepared a few questions. I would like you to share your experience. So my first question is, what do you study now?
I'm at the Tokyo Institute of Technology, and I'm studying electrical engineering,
Oh wow.
but like focus on robotics.
Okay.
Yeah,
And also Japanese language.
yeah,
You
it's
take
part
that
of.
course.
I take a Japanese language course as well at the university. It's actually mandatory. Yeah.
Yeah. So my next question is it hard to study in Japan without knowing much Japanese language?
I think some things can take a little bit of extra effort to get it, but yeah, luckily in my school the English there's a lot of material in English and yeah, it works fine. So yeah, I don't have any big problems with it.
So it's okay so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since you've experienced Japanese school and school in your country, so is there like any differences, style of the class or the personality of the people? Is there any differences?
I will say in general, the courses I've had here so far have been a little bit more like theoretical, with like less, more focus on the theory and less that you are actually using it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm studying engineering in my home university, we have many like practical projects where it's like, oh, build this or like do this and all these things.
It's like actual you're doing the thing.
Yeah,
right?
so it's like you are using what you learned. But here I have the courses I've had. Maybe it depends on the course, but from what I've experienced so far, it seems more focused on remembering what is in the book and like like writing in it the correct way than programming or making a physical robot or something like that.
Like more study and less actual practice.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yes, I think maybe the relationship between the teacher and the student is a bit different as well. I think in Japan
how
it's
different?
more, there's kind of distance between you and the teacher, a lot of respect and like a bit more formal.
Oh,
You call them sensei, and you kind of, when you talk to them, I feel also that maybe they are not really on the same level as you. They are like the sensei, big professor.
Okay.
Where so the way they talk is a bit different. In my school, if you have a meeting with a professor, they speak to you as if you still respect them, of course, but you don't have this authority thing or like that they are higher than you.
So is it easy for you to make Japanese friends in your school?
We have in my school they have some events where it's mostly for international, but also some Japanese are coming because they want to have a friend who is like an international friend. So these people, are very interested in meeting you. So mostly those are the ones that I will.
Okay, so it's like you don't really have to like talk to a lot of Japanese people from yourself, but they have like event You can
Yeah,
just
I
like
suppose.
go to that event and join that event, so you can make friends there.
Yeah, exactly.
And in the end, do you have any advice to the audience to enjoy their Japanese school life?
Yeah, I will say go to the events and find some Japanese friends, and I don't know, go to have some beers with them or something, because I found that many, when they have a few beers from the Japanese, they change a lot and they become much more, open with many things.
Yeah,
So maybe that will be my advice.
Okay. If you want to make Japanese friend and listen to what they really think about, just get them drunk. Alright. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time today.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Where are you from?
Hi, I'm Phoebe. I'm from the Philippines.
From the Philippines. How long have you been in Japan?
I've been here for 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah.
What brought you to Japan?
Master's program in
Oh.
University of Tokyo. So yeah.
So you came here for
My-
study.
Yeah, for my graduate studies. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, and let's move on to the main topic. The topic of today is about what's it like studying in Japan. So my first question is, what do you study?
I study urban engineering.
Oh
Yeah, so that's my master's course.
Do you like take Japanese language course?
All of my classes are in English, but
Ah.
I do have Japanese classes. So to help me, especially adjusting with the life here, it's very like recommended to take the Japanese classes.
What is the nationality rate in your school?
I think there are a lot of, as I know, there are a lot of Filipinos in my department. Probably around 8. I feel like that's a
Okay.
lot for me, but
Ah.
there are a lot of foreign students. It's probably around 50-50, especially in our department, 50% Japanese and 50% other nationalities.
Nationality. Ah.
Many nationalities,
Okay.
very international. Yeah.
Are your teachers Japanese?
Yeah, all my teachers are Japanese.
Ah.
Here, yeah.
And they speak English?
Yes, they all do speak English.
And what about the students?
A majority of them do speak English. Since my classes are mostly in English, my fellow
Ah.
Japanese classmates
Yeah.
also have to speak English to understand the lectures. Yeah. I think it's easy to make Japanese friends, especially in school.
Ah.
I think that's where the easiest part for me to make friends in school. But
In school,
outside
yeah.
is another story.
Next question is it hard to study in Japan without knowing much Japanese?
It really is challenging.
Oh. Okay.
I feel like you have to at least push yourself to learn the basics, like the basics of ordering food in a konbini,
Oh yeah.
knowing your way around the train station. I think those things are like a starting point. I want to say it gets easier, but it's really, you really have to work on your Japanese like every day.
Yeah.
When I was studying Japanese, they taught us the proper way,
Proper
the
way.
proper speaking,
Oh yeah.
not the very informal. So like most of the Japanese I know is very the formal way of speaking. Like
yeah.
even in like when you're asking for something, when you're requesting, it's like the very long sentences. Once you're in the situation, you're like, this is not what I've learned. It's totally different. Like, oh no, what do I say now? Like, so it's like
Yeah. Do you have any advice to the audience to enjoy Japanese school life?
I think you just have to embrace embrace your new life, your new school life, because there are a lot of challenges, but I think the reward is great. It's very rewarding to make new friends and have so many new experiences, because Japan has so much to offer. There's always something that you can do every single day here. And there's always something new. There's
Yeah.
always like a beautiful park that you can relax in, and it's a very great place to study.
And thank you for sharing. Thank you. Thank you for your time today. Firstly, where are you from?
I'm from Canada.
From Canada. And how long have you been in Japan?
Maybe about 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah.
What brought you to Japan?
The first time, so I was looking to study abroad when I was an undergraduate student, and
Okay.
yeah, so there was many options. I could go to Europe or different countries, but I thought like maybe a lot of people at my school went to Europe, so I
Okay.
thought like okay, it's a bit like not cool. So
Okay. So you want something different.
yeah, exactly. I was like, I should do something different. But then
Uh-huh.
I wanted to go to somewhere like a developed country kind of. So I went to.
Oh.
So I thought, okay, I'll go to Japan then.
Okay. And how long are you gonna stay in Japan?
I don't know yet. So I'm still studying for another year, and after that, maybe I keep studying in Japan. I'm going to do a doctorate degree, so a PhD. So maybe I stay in Japan or I go to another country. So I don't know yet.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing. The topic of today is about what's it like studying in Japan. I'm gonna ask you a few questions about studying in Japan. My first question is, what do you study in Japan now?
So I study like political science for the most part. So I study Japanese politics and things like that. Yeah.
Do you take like Japanese language class?
I don't take them now. When I first studied abroad, I used to study abroad in Osaka, maybe in 2017. At that time, I took English, Japanese classes for like 1 year about. Yeah, but not anymore.
What is the nationality rate in your school? Like the rate, how many like Chinese people, blah blah blah.
Yeah, so it kind of depends on the program a lot. But so there's like some Japanese universities, there'll be like English language programs. So in those, usually it's like maybe 40% Chinese.
40% Chinese. That's
In the English language program, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
And then like the rest will be like Americans, maybe 20%, and like
Americans.
Singapore, like usually maybe 10%, and like the rest is Indian, Canada, various countries. It's a kind of a mix after that. If it's like Japanese language programs, then I think it's mostly Chinese people and Korean people for the most part. Yeah, or Taiwanese people also. So like.
All right. So next question is: are your teachers Japanese? Do they understand English?
So you mean like the professors at school, are they Japanese? Yeah. Maybe like if it's an English language program, maybe half the professors will be Japanese and half foreigners. Maybe if it's a Japanese language program, then I think it's just Japanese professors for the most part. So obviously in the English language programs, the Japanese professors can speak English. If you take in a Japanese language program, it can be a hit or miss. I think the English level. Yeah, maybe they won't speak English for the most part. Maybe like 1 out of 4 will speak English like pretty well. Like I think they can read English properly, but they can't like speak very well in a conversation.
Is it hard to study in Japan without knowing much Japanese?
The only thing is that maybe like the course selection will be a bit more limited. So like in Japan, especially in like science programs like physics or things like that, there's like some Japanese professors that are like pretty famous or like good at research, but they don't speak English that well. So like if you want to learn from these people, like these famous professors, you might need to know Japanese. They won't speak English necessarily.
And next one, what's it like studying in Japan compared to your country? I mean, the style of the class.
I think like in Canada, maybe the classes there's a bit more debate and like discussion in the class. In Japan, often it's more like maybe the students don't like to debate that much, so like it's more like question answers with the professor, kind of. So like you don't talk between the students as much and more like with the professor in Japanese class, I think. In terms of the style of the class, I think that's like the biggest difference. The school life is also really different, I think. Like in like in Canada, we don't really have like clubs or like we don't have a lot of outside organizations. It's not like as much of a culture. Well, in Japan, there's like bukatsu and like soccer. Like you can join like student organizations. And there's like a lot. There's a lot compared to Canada. So like.
Okay, I didn't know that you guys don't have that system. Maybe like
it
to
exists.
high school.
No, high school we don't have. In Canada, at least where I'm from, Quebec, we don't have it at all in high school. Almost like just a little bit. There's like sports team. So people, if they want to do sports, they do like the sports team. But there won't be like a club for like calligraphy or like anime or like that. Usually, often there's not that kind of stuff in Canada.
Okay.
In universities, there's like a little bit, but it's not like a big culture like Japan. Like Japan, maybe lots of students participate in like the bukatsu and circles, but in Canada, it's pretty like just a few, like a limited groups of students do it. So it's much smaller. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Is it easy to make Japanese friends in the university?
Yeah, so if you speak Japanese, I think it can be like reasonably easy, like, but only if you go to like a club or a circle and you like kind of try to participate, then I think you can make good friends there. But just in classes is going to be a bit difficult, I think, because like often people don't, in my experience, people don't interact that much in the class, and like they don't talk that much after the class, so they can just go to their circle or club activities or something, or they go eat. So I think it's a bit difficult to make Japanese friends there. And yeah, the other thing is in Tokyo, often people are a bit more distant, so it's difficult to make friends in Tokyo, I think. But if you study in like a country's not countryside necessarily, but like another like smaller city university, then like I think it's or the countryside, I think it's not that hard to make friends there.
like Osaka, right?
Yeah.
People in Osaka is really friendly, so studying in Osaka is a little bit easier to make Japanese friend, right?
Yeah, I'd say so for sure. Or like Hiroshima or Kobe,
Oh.
Kobe, these places, I think it's a bit easier.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for your time today. Thank you.